Top 10 Lawless Countries in the World. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. For more videos and top 10 everything, subscribe to the channel. Lawlessness is the new order of the state in several countries today, in one way or the other. Despite an existing world order and international institutions keeping a close watch on law and order in all countries, we still see the worst possible atrocities taking place every day. However, if we have to rank the countries with the most instances of lawlessness on a scale of 10, it would be the following. 10. Mexico. Mexico, a crucial transit point for drug traffickers from South America and is itself a breeding ground for illegal drug traffickers. The robust demand from the United States for marijuana keeps this awful business growing bigger than ever. However, the conflicts between the drug cartels, police, and military agents have been rising in the recent past. Operation Michoacán, a military operation against drug trafficking, began a new phase in a drug war that turned Mexico into one of the most violent countries on earth. 9. Venezuela. Yet another South American nation that has fallen victim to enormous crime rates in the country. The state is unable to provide basic safety to its citizens who are under constant threat from rebels. Robberies, abduction is severely high in the country. The shortage of food and basic resources is what drives the people to take to heinous ways to earn a livelihood. 8. Iraq. Iraq doesn't require an introduction to explain its status, I suppose. A list like this cannot go without Iraq mentioned in it. A beautiful country rich in minerals is unfortunately dominated by leaders drunk by power. People continue to die for no fault of their own. After the death of its brutal leader Saddam Hussein, Iraq could not find an efficient leader who can restore peace and harmony in the nation. 7. Burundi. Burundi is a war-torn country that still hasn't found an answer to the lawlessness in the country. Lack of governance allows civil wars and ethnic wars which worsen the situation. The number of impoverished people in the country is ever increasing and others are either suffering from chronic illnesses like HIV/AIDS or fighting dangerous wars. The state is not in a position to provide basic medication to its citizens as well. 6. Congo. Even the statesmen have given up on the state's lawlessness. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Congo, a country belonging to numerous tribes and ethnic groups, requires an organized center with organized states. Though there is a government present at the center, none of the tribes are ready to follow the orders passed by the center. Therefore, the minimum sources of the government now stand incapable of controlling their people. Warlords and militias are the ones who rule the citizens and rapes and murders occur on a daily basis here. 5. Afghanistan. Despite the efforts made by external powers to oust terrorism from the grounds of Afghanistan, there is a strong presence of these evil groups in the country. Terrorism supplemented with a weak government completely destroyed the peace in the country. Rebel groups that hold reasonably large areas in the country facilitate drug trafficking, rape, and other heinous crimes. Women's rights and child rights are the worst violations in the country. 4. Pakistan. Pakistan, a victim of its own wrongdoings. Homegrown terrorism is invariably the reason why Pakistan is in such a plight today. Despite the deteriorating crime conditions in the country, corruption still continues to grow, which in turn allows such crimes to take place. The country is now under the watch of international watchdogs and is blacklisted by most nations. 3. Brazil. It might be hard to picture a South American nation among the list of dangerous countries. But the fact remains the fact: Brazil is seen as one of the uncivilized nations on planet Earth. One of the most beautiful tourist destinations, Brazil is also one of the most dangerous places to be in. The country's murder rate, robbery, and abduction are dangerously high. Poverty and lack of education is the unavoidable reason which explains the conditions in the country. 2. Somalia. Somalia is a disintegrating country that is being exploited by both internal and external sources. Unlike Colombia, which has a modern system of law and order in place, Somalia is a country that still abides by its ancient system, where elders in the town or city meet to discuss the problem to provide a solution. Poverty, hunger, gang wars are all common in Somalia. Most of the crimes committed barely have a fixed punishment. 1. Colombia. Wrecked by more than half a century of civil war, political conflict, and drug trade, Colombia is a modern nation that is in total disorder. Most of us would have guessed a Middle Eastern or an African nation to top the list of most disturbing nations, but to our surprise Colombia is. Colombia, a country that is deeply divided between the rich Spanish descent and a majority of poor citizens, is a victim of the narco-terrorist group, residential crimes, political violence, and drug trafficking.